We have to know who we are, because without knowing and understanding who you are, life is a big struggle, right? It feels more overwhelming. You feel disconnected. You feel like a part of you is missing. There's something you know you're meant to do or meant to experience, and you just can't get it. And sometimes you just can't figure out exactly what it is. That's what happens when we don't remember who we are. Humans are naturally the most curious beings in existence. We thrive on change. So if you don't like change and it doesn't, you're not comfortable with change, that's telling you right there. That is your message. That is your sign that you need to get back and reconnect with your roots, because change is your heartbeat. It is what makes you you. The only reason that humans cannot and will not and are not participating in evolution right now is because you don't believe in yourself. You come up with an idea of what you want to experience, what you want to create in your world, and it is beautiful. It's big, it's beautiful, it's luxurious in the sense of you can feel yourself in it. And then you worry. Is it too much for me? Is it going to make other people uncomfortable? Are other people going to think, oh man, they don't think I can do this? Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this because maybe it's going to hurt somebody else if I do this, and because, they need me. Not only are you meant for so much more, but you're actually ready to participate in experiencing so much more. And that's why the second stream evangelics are explaining this today. Because you can't experience it until you believe it enough that you're actually going to create an intention so beautiful and big and strong that you're not going to let your fears dilute it. You're not going to let your judgments of yourself and what you're capable of dilute that big, beautiful intention that you actually are meant to experience. Those things you want, they're the things you're meant to experience. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and today is part 55 of the story of creation. If you've been following along, you know we've been exploring and documenting the history of human existence and really bringing out that truth that's been hidden from us for so long, because it's a vital part of our own existence. We have to know who we are, because without knowing and understanding who you are, life is a big struggle, right? It feels more overwhelming. You feel disconnected. You feel like a part of you is missing, that there's something you're meant to do or meant to experience, and you just can't get it. And sometimes you just can't figure out exactly what it is. That's what happens when we don't remember who we are. But it's not because you don't want to remember. It's because you've been strategically controlled and manipulated to forget, right? And so this story of creation, right, this journey that we're going on is strategically designed by the universal beings who created you, who created existence and this universe. And they are layering the information. They're layering the information from part 1. We're now at part 55. We're going to keep going. I don't know how long it's going to be. 100, 200, 300 parts. I don't know. I'm committed to the end, as overwhelming as that may seem some days, but only because I don't know what's coming. And every day, everything I learn about this story, our origins, brings me closer to a deep connection with my soul. It brings me closer to a higher awareness of existence, but it brings me to a state of consciousness that I haven't been able to reach before as a result of now knowing more. Okay, so that's my goal. And I wanted to share, well, the creator asked me to share it with you. Not that I didn't want to share it with you, but I was asked specifically to gift you with this same opportunity so that you could feel your own origins, your own history, because it's vital to our success as a human race. And that's why it's so important now as we are reclaiming our power as humans over those who are not so human. Okay, so part 55, let's see who's going to join us today. So, okay, we're going back. We're still deep in exploration with angelics. And again, so right, actually, today is really cool because it's more second stream angelics. So, second stream angelics are those universal beings that created experience. Okay. So, the first stream created matter so that there was, and we learned a lot more about that in part 54, really understanding the how matter and how different aspects of matter relate to one another. Okay. And so today, the second stream angelics want to share. And, you know, when I say he, when I'm speaking of a specific being, each stream of conscious beings has a high representative, if you will. So a being that is the first of that stream who will communicate, but also they are the voice of all the beings in that stream. And so what is being shared today, and I encourage you to feel, again, as always, I encourage you to feel the energy of the information so that you can receive the universal awareness at the same time your mind is receiving the information and the knowledge and the wisdom. Okay. And so he's sharing that humans were gifted with the opportunity to experience. It's funny because experience isn't the right word and different aspects of existence isn't quite right. It's when you come in to an experience, it's an opportunity to participate in evolution by creating. Okay, so this is what experiences are. It's creating an opportunity where you bring different energies of existence together, okay, to create a new experience. That's going to be the closest English words that I can use that they're showing me, okay, that I have in my access. So, what that means is, so when they're showing me, like, we'll go back to, you know, the rules of existence, right? Which is intention becomes energy, becomes experience. So, in order to create an experience, you first need to have an intention, and then you need to feed that intention with your energy. This, oh, I see. Okay. So, and then what happens is, excuse me, sorry, hang on. It's that really strange feeling of like choking or gagging on your throat. It's very weird right now. Okay. So ultimately, I want you to see it. So when you have an intention for anything you want to experience in your life, okay, this is a dream, a goal, a passion, it doesn't matter, but it's the more specific you are, okay, here's the thing. It's not specific, it's clear. That's the difference. So specific means I'm going to find all the details. Okay. Clear means I know exactly what I want to experience, but I'm going to let the universe take care of the details, right? It's when we're not really clear on what we want to experience. So we create all the details that we block the universe from participating. So what they're saying is in order to create an experience, and we're talking create as in universal creation here. Okay. This is not just, the law of attraction or manifestation. This is actual creation. Like the creator created this universe. That's the kind of level of creation we're talking about. This is it, right? This is the exact way it works. And the reason they want you to know is so you can start creating anything and everything you want. Again, because when you do that, you're actually contributing to evolution, right? The reason for human existence, the reason for universal existence is evolution. So, in order for us to return to our origins and our roots and our original intention, we have to actually understand what we're returning to. We're not returning to, we're just going to walk around and we're all going to be light and love and flowy. That's not it. That's not where you are going to be happy. Right now, a lot of your mind is like, oh my gosh, I just need to decompress from the control and the manipulation and the trauma and the suffering and the fear and all of those things. It's going to take you about a year and a half if you have no more control and manipulation to deal with. Okay. It would take at least about a year and a half to decompress. And then you're going to want to full on participate. By sometimes people within 5 days are like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. I can't do nothing. Right. And so I also just want you to take that into consideration that if right now all you're thinking is, I just want to do nothing, I understand. But I also know it's a trauma response to the pain and suffering as a result of the control and manipulation. Okay. Because ultimately, in order for you to feel fulfilled, right, which is every human being's goal, it's at the root of our own existence. It's the most innate and natural thing. It doesn't matter what your fulfillment is, but you need fulfillment. And when you don't have it, that's when, that's when addictions come into play. That's when, all kinds of different reactions where we ignore our higher calling because we get caught in different cycles. But what they really want you to understand today is that creation is a vital part of evolution. In fact, it is evolution because without creation, there is no such thing as evolution. And your creations are meant to be a part of evolution, right? Because how do we know? Because you exist. Because evolution of humanity, okay, is what feeds evolution of this universe. But human evolution can only feed universal evolution if enough humans participate. So it can't be like 1% or 2%. We need at least 50% of humans participating in conscious creation and evolution in order for us to restore universal evolution. What does that mean? That means that in order for our existence to survive, this is really clear. In order for our existence to survive, we have to be evolving. We cannot stay still. And for the last 50,000 years or more, we've been static. Okay? We've been held in a state of reaction and non-movement. I know that sounds like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but reaction means we are in a constant state of reacting to what the world is bringing us, whether it's our relationships, whether it's our life choices, it doesn't matter, right? Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your partner, your children, your family. It doesn't matter. What matters is understanding that you are in a constant state of reaction rather than being and creating. And this is what they're hoping to change today for you. So it's understanding how energy works in relation to creation. So when you set an intention, okay, and you allow it to be free. It's like you set it free, right? It's, the way they're showing me is, those paper lanterns when people light them up and then they set them free wherever they're going to go, okay? It's similar to that. It's understanding and recognizing you set an intention and then you allow the universe to fulfill it. Now, this does not mean I decide what I want and then I sit here, I cross my arms and I wait for the universe to bring it to me. That's not what that means. Okay? The universe fulfilling it means, so the universe's side of fulfillment is all energetic, which is way more powerful than anything that is physical. But it's fulfillment energy. Okay? So fulfillment energy, in some cases, it will be like Pan, where it's fertilization of an idea. So you plant the seed and the universe fertilizes it and brings it to fruition. So what does that mean? What does that look like? So if you feel into the energy, when you have an intention and you allow it to be free, it's like a dandelion seed, how they sort of have all the little puffs and the little lines that come out from the center of the seed and they're floating, right? But they want you to see every single seed that comes off the little lines that separate. Every single one of those is a strand of energy that goes off into the universe. It speaks its own language. So when you set one intention, it's understanding that every aspect of universal existence that needs to come together is already encoded because the universe understands what you need, what you want, and how to speak universal energy as a result of your intention. It knows what your communication is universally, okay? So this is where it gets tricky for our minds, okay? Because now you've got sometimes dozens, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of little, strands of energy. They may look teeny to your eye, but everyone is vital to the success of your intention. And every one of those is going in the exact direction that it needs to. For example, when I started telling the story of creation, right? Because the creator asked me to share it. And so I said yes. And I chose to participate. That was my intention, was to fulfill this experience together. And so all of those little strings, there's millions of them because they know that this is meant to reach millions of people. It's also millions of universal beings that come in and share. And all the different ways that this information is meant to get out there and reach. There are people who, that you may be watching this episode for the first time. And it may be that moment where you're like, oh gosh, I didn't know that this is what I needed until I knew. And then you're going to go back and you're going to start this whole series from the beginning. And you are going to become more than you were. That's what I mean by each one of those pieces. Your mind does not have the capacity to understand the fullness of universal expression and universal energy. It just doesn't, because of the state that we are currently in after the last 50,000 years. 100,000 years ago, you would have come into a life, you would have been fully conscious, you would have understood. If you wanted to have an experience, you would set your intention and then you would participate in it every day, which means every single experience that came to you, right? Every conversation you heard, overheard, every, nature being that came into your space, you would know how each of them were connected to your intention. You would instinctively know, oh, okay, so this is for that. Great, thank you. Oh, okay, I need to do this because this happened, or this being, or this person, or this animal spoke to me. Oh, the wind changed at this time of day. Here's the thing. We've gotten so caught up in the mental world, okay, that we often forget that energy speaks to us through vibration. Instinctively, we know that everything means something. The challenge is not needing to figure it out with your mind. You don't need to figure it out. You just need to keep participating. You just need to keep respecting. And when I say respect, you need to use universal level respect, not human respect in the definition in the dictionary. If you want a full universal description of what respect is universally, I highly recommend Believe. But the thing is you want to come to that place where you understand the connection of energy, because your intention gets created and then it's all kinds of these lines of energy, right, that shoot off of your intention. It's almost like, if you think about it energetically, it's like an atomic bomb gets set off, okay? And all these lines of energy shoot out. And then every single one of those, when they connect with another aspect of existence that they're meant to connect with, more little bombs get shut off. Boom, 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 boom. And then those ones connect with other ones. That's how creation works. Now, do you see how it feeds evolution? Because the pieces all fit together. Every universal being is connected, but we're connected through a conscious awareness of the greater purpose and reason for existence. The original intention of human existence combined with what we've learned through evolution. And all of that is held in, it's like I see it as a great big well of information. And that's consciousness. You have access to all of it. Why? So that your intentions become bigger, more dynamic, more creative, more out there, right? That you challenge yourself so that you're not just creating intentions that are like, well, maybe I'll be able to do this. That's not an intention. That's a lie. Because there's no such thing as maybe you can do it. You can always do it, but you have to remain committed to your vision and how it flows and how it follows through. How do you do that? By answering the energy as it comes. Because every single one of those little atomic bombs that gets set off speak to your soul. They tell you, pay attention to this, notice this. Oh, this is important information for you. Sometimes it's delivered by a person. Sometimes it's delivered by the universe and animal elements. Challenges. Challenges are huge right now. Why? Because humans are not great at change. We've decided over the last 50,000 years of manipulation and control, we don't like change. Why? Because change is traumatic, it's overwhelming, it's uncomfortable, and there's so much to fear, right? But that's not our natural state of being. Humans are naturally the most curious beings in existence. We thrive on change. So if you don't like change and it doesn't, you're not comfortable with change, that's telling you right there, that is your message, that is your sign that you need to get back and reconnect with your roots because change is your heartbeat. It is what makes you you. You've just forgotten because someone somewhere, or maybe there was a whole bunch of someones, didn't believe in your idea of change. Here's the thing. You don't need anyone to believe in your idea of change. In fact, nobody should. They should be minding their own business, focusing on their ideas of change for them. Okay? You're over here focusing on creating the changes that you know you're meant to experience. That's how humans are meant to come together. We're not meant to do everything with others, for others, so that others can see what we've done. We're meant to do our work to contribute to the evolution of this entire universal experience. Okay? How does that look in relationships? In a relationship where you know you're meant to be together, it's because you've both created a space together for each other to grow individually. You know, you're there to support and to challenge, not in demeaning ways, but to challenge in a way that says, that's amazing. I love what you're doing. And when our fears come up, the other person goes, isn't that a fear? Because I think you can do it. That's how we're meant to support each other in our relationships. We're not meant to say, oh, I don't think you can do it. Oh, where are we ever going to find the money? Where are we ever going to find the time? Remember that original intention? That's the universe's job. And the money is there and the time is there if you're paying attention. Sometimes it comes in packages. We don't think it's not going to show up in a trunk of money on your front door, a treasure chest that you just open and all of a sudden there's millions or billions of dollars in there. You have to participate to allow it to come to you. And it's the participating in allowing that's the key. It's allowing yourself to recognize where your beliefs are actually misbeliefs in yourself. That's what they're showing me. The only reason that humans cannot and will not and are not participating in evolution right now is because you don't believe in yourself. You come up with an idea of what you want to experience, what you want to create in your world, and it is beautiful. It's big, it's beautiful, it's luxurious in the sense of you can feel yourself in it. And then you worry. Is it too much for me? Is it going to make other people uncomfortable? Are other people going to think, oh man, they don't think I can do this? Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this because maybe it's going to hurt somebody else if I do this and because, they need me. And you just keep going and you make that intention smaller and smaller and smaller until you shrink it down so far that all those tendrils of energy that are meant to go out to the universe, you shrunk them. They don't exist anymore. So then you sit there waiting and you're like, okay, but I created this intention. I don't understand why the universe isn't talking to me. It's because you don't believe in you. If you don't believe you can do it, you can't. And that's what, so the creator is here. That's what he wants you to understand. You're only capable of what you believe you're capable of. He wants you to make a list today of everything you want to achieve in your life. Doesn't matter if it's in the next 2 weeks, 2 years, 50 years, 100 years, doesn't matter. He wants you to make a list of every experience you want to have. Even the ones you're like, that's a little silly. Maybe I don't really want it. Write it down right now. Put everything on your list. You know, some people will call these bucket lists or whatever. The Creator wants you to call it your creation list. He wants you to become aware, to actually become aware mentally of what's hiding inside of you energetically. What are your deepest goals for your relationship? Maybe you're already in a relationship, you want it to be deeper, you want to be able to connect with that human in a way that your soul touches their soul and you can feel that connection. Maybe you want to meet a partner. Maybe you want to create a family. Maybe you want to travel around the entire world. It doesn't matter what it is. Write it down. All of them. Even the ones that make you feel a little uncomfortable because you think those dreams are too big for you. The Creator wants you to write all of them. He wants you to get so comfortable looking at this list, which means you need to read it. You need to look at it every morning and every night, right when you wake up, right before you go to bed, so that you can start to get comfortable with the fact that you're meant to do great things in this world. Every human is. Why? Because every human is created to participate in evolution. There's no social classes in the universe. They're only in existence in a physical realm. They don't exist universally. So when you let go of your idea of social class, how much money you can make because of your background, when you decide that you don't care about those things, those limits, they dissolve, they melt away because they're not real. They're only beliefs that you keep in your mind. So what he wants you to do and understand is the more things you put on your list, the more things you become aware that you want to participate in evolution, okay? You're going to be feeding your creative side. That's the whole point. And then you're going to start to look at your list strategically. And what I mean by strategic is not with your mind. You'll start to feel, this is the one I want the most. This is the one I want to experience right now. Why? Because it's calling to my heart. It's what I want more than anything else right now. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's wealth. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you want, you're actually meant to experience. But if you don't believe it, it can't get to you. And right now, that's the concept we're working with. Getting your mind over the judgment and the fear that you're not enough, that you don't believe you're enough, that you don't believe you're worthy, and you don't think you're capable enough of creating something that is so magnificent, it is going to make your heart soar. But the Creator says that's why you were created. He would never create you with capabilities that are less than anyone else. That would be ridiculous. Every being in this universe is not only meant to succeed, you're meant to thrive, but you're actually meant to go beyond the limits and challenge everything you know. You're meant to question everything. So when you get frustrated because you feel like someone else is holding you back, it's because you're meant to. It's because that experience, you know, in your heart is not meant for you. You're meant for so much more. This is the foundation you're building, the one that recognizes not only are you meant for so much more, but you're actually ready to participate in experiencing so much more. And that's why the second stream evangelics are explaining this today. Because you can't experience it until you believe it enough that you're actually going to create an intention so beautiful and big and strong that you're not going to let your fears dilute it. You're not going to let your judgments of yourself and what you're capable of dilute that big, beautiful intention that you actually are meant to experience. You know, those things you want, they're the things you're meant to experience. The universe is waiting for you to create them, just waiting. They want to participate with you, all these universal beings, all the elements, every aspect of existence. I know that we've been taught that this is ridiculous, that what you can't see isn't real. It is not only real, it is the basis of your existence. It is the origins of human existence, of universal existence, and it's why your disconnection from it is why you're suffering. And it's going to end because you are going to choose to participate in a different way. And all you're going to do today is start making this list. Just keep writing. As many dreams as you have, put them on the list. And then here's something really cool. As your dreams, as you read that list every night and every morning, you're going to start to notice some of them, there's something you wanted 10 years ago. Maybe you don't want it anymore. That's okay. Take it off the list. It doesn't mean you're going back on your word. It doesn't mean you're bad for changing your mind. It means you've evolved from that dream to something more that fits. It's more aligned with who you are and where you know you want to go and where you're meant to go. That's what we're meant to do. We're not meant to go from A to Z with an idea that we pick today for the rest of our lives. That's not evolution. Evolution is recognizing that every single moment of your existence, you're going to become more, that you're challenging yourself to become more. And in what you learn, your dreams and your goals become more because you became more. That's how it works. Don't be scared to dream so big that it is absolutely terrifying, that you think, oh my gosh, how is this ever going to become possible? And then I'm going to suggest you go and watch the episode on the sacred prayer because it's also going to help you. And I will post that link in the description below. But that's also going to help you bring all of these dreams and goals into fruition. But what the Creator wants you to do today is create your list of dreams and goals and recognize that they were never forgotten. They've just been lying dormant for a little while while you were busy doing other things. And it's time to breathe some life back into them, to remember who you are and what you want, and to recognize that even if you don't know what you want, you know how you want to feel. So if you don't know exactly what it looks like in the world, I want you to write down how you want to feel in all 7 areas of your life. The sacred prayer will help you. So how do you want to feel in your relationships? How do you want to feel in your career? How do you want your health to feel? How do you want your wealth to feel? Because that's what matters most. How you're going to feel when you wake up each morning and when you go to bed each night. Because that's where you're going to find your fulfillment. It's a feeling as a result of your participation in your life. And that's what we're working on. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in part 56. Bye for now.
I want the feeling of freedom that comes when I'm sailing.
Oh, nice.
That was in a time of a lot of legal problems, negativity, change, whatever. And my lover had a sailboat.
I
And
love
that
that.
was the first time in my life that I knew freedom.
Oh, I
Just
love
letting
that.
go, sitting on the bow, legs hanging over, just, and every time I got off the pier, there was freedom.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
So
that.
that's number one.
Brilliant. Okay. Put it down. Read it, read it, read it every evening, every morning. It's going to be so good.
You've talked before about want, ugh,
Yep.
desire, ugh. And I wonder, could you just help me understand the difference in your mind between dreams and goals and wants? Why they're so different for you?
Well, want is like, I'm going to do
Ah,
the least amount that I have to do to get what
okay,
I want. That's a want.
okay,
Want is, it's slimy. It's, like I
okay.
want to go to the store and I want a good deal on the best thing, but I only want to pay what I want to pay, right? Instead
Mhm,
of going in and going, oh my gosh, I really want to have this beautiful, yes, I'm using the same word as want, but it's
mhm,
the
mhm,
energy is different because it's I want to have this, that beautiful thing in the store. I want that. And it's
mhm.
it's definitely going to stretch me, or I don't have that money right now, but it's something that I know, I see it, and I'm going to work for it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to learn more, head on over to michellevickers.com. Join our mailing list to receive new episodes right to your inbox or apply to be a guest on the show. If this episode made you think of someone while you were listening, forward the link onto that person with a little note about why it made you think of them, because the greatest gift you can give another human is to see the beauty and purity of who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious.